The founder of SpaceX, Elon Musk, is well known for his daring plans to settle on Mars. However, it appears he has another goal: to prevent Russia from shooting down his satellites. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll discuss Elon Musk's warning to Russia on their major threat to shoot down SpaceX satellites. Musk recently warned in an interview that Russia is working on technologies that may be used to destroy SpaceX satellites. His ambitions for a Mars colony would suffer greatly from this, as SpaceX depends on satellites for communication and navigation. Although it's not known whether Russia actually plans to knock down SpaceX satellites, Musk's warning shows the tension existing between the two as they compete for control of space. In case you didn't know, the US billionaire Elon Musk's company SpaceX is the owner of Starlink satellite network system, which is once again receiving lots of attention. Local Russian media has revealed how the Starlink satellite network can be destroyed, confirming Musk's concerns that Russia may attempt to wipe them out. What's more is that according to reports from Russian media outlets, a huge number of missiles with a target engagement range of at least 500 kilometers would be required to destroy the Starlink satellite network. The Starlink satellites make it possible for the armed forces of Ukraine to communicate with the NATO command very effectively, which is obviously advantageous for military operations. According to a study, which claims to be based on the opinions of military experts, at least 4,000 missiles would need to be launched in order to destroy the satellite network. This is because there are currently more than 3,000 SpaceX satellites orbiting the Earth. That's a pretty big number if you ask us. The network may still be able to operate, but only in a restricted capacity. But why is that? Well, some of the satellites are circling at an altitude of 600 kilometers, right over the missile's line of sight. This material has surfaced to support Elon Musk's claims that Russia was seeking to destroy Ukraine's satellite services. Despite the numerous resources invested in its security, it is still possible for the system to stop working at any time. The only remaining communication system at the waterfront right now is Starlink. The others have all been obliterated. Russia is clearly working hard to take down Starlink. A sizable percentage of SpaceX's resources have been dedicated toward the improvement of its defenses, but despite this, Musk stated in a tweet that Starlink might still be shelved. But hey, if you're lost about Starlink, let us explain. Starlink is a next-generation satellite network that was created to provide broadband internet services to consumers all over the world. The project was launched for the first time by SpaceX in February of 2018. In September, Musk announced that the Starlink satellite internet service is now available on all continents. According to a survey published in September by SpaceX, the company has provided Ukraine with Starlink services worth more than $120 million this year. Additionally, according to Musk, carrying on as usual might cost as much as $400 million in the future. It's possible that this is the reason the company recently requested the Pentagon in the United States to bear the cost of giving Ukraine access to satellite health. Mikhailo Fedorov, Ukraine's Minister of Digital Development, urged that Elon Musk provide satellite internet and Starlink stations to his country on February 26th, immediately following the start of Russia's invasion and damage to the Cube's communication network. A short while later, Musk declared that the Starlink service had successfully launched in Ukraine and made a commitment to send more terminals there. But in reality, the satellite terminals that Musk built in Ukraine have been the subject of debate for quite some time now. Starlink's internet service was severely disrupted for the Ukraine military at the beginning of this month, according to media reports. Two Ukrainian government officials told the media that when Ukrainian armed forces personnel visited cities that had just been liberated from Russian rule, they experienced problems connecting to the internet there. The specialists believe that some of the SpaceX crew members may have caused the problem because they were trying to prevent the Russian military from using the technology. At the beginning of this month, reports in the media claimed that the Russian military had attempted to interfere with Starlink satellite communications using a device known as Tirada 2S. This contraption is basically an electrical jammer. According to a recent article in a newspaper that analyzes military news and events, the Starlink system might be one of the Russian military's likely targets. Additionally, the research showed how successful Starlink has become to the extent that it is basically the only way for Ukrainian armed personnel to communicate in space today. As a result, it is simpler to ensure that navigation, surveillance, and communication are maintained continuously throughout the operation. Despite its adaptability and low cost, satellite communication is not the only available form of communication. There are actually many other ways to communicate, including the use of high-frequency microwaves or even a troposcatter. But it still goes without saying that the Ukrainian military has been able to conduct more precise assaults thanks to the satellite technology provided by Starlink. The Russians, therefore, have a reasonable amount of mistrust for Starlink. In the event of a Russian invasion, the Russian government has warned that it is likely they may destroy civilian satellites that are cooperating with military activities. There is clearly a lot of interest and attention in the SpaceX satellite network. Chinese military specialists have reportedly expressed concern about the likelihood that SpaceX's impressive satellite network may help increase American military dominance in space. The Central Military Commission, which is China's highest national defense body and is led by President Xi Jinping, released the piece on its official news website, China Military Online. According to the report, SpaceX has chosen to raise the number of Starlink satellites from 12,000 to 42,000. Not to take China's side, but we'd be scared too if we were in their shoes. According to geospatial intelligence expert group Captain Arvind Pandey, Russia could never completely destroy the Starlink network according. He claimed that Moscow could only take out a handful of Starlink satellites, but not much more. They would only be able to accomplish this by utilizing anti-satellite operations or directed energy weapons, both of which necessitate placing satellites into orbit. Low Earth orbits are where the command and control center for the Starlink satellite network is located, and even if missiles were fired, thousands of them would be fired from the ground. The Starlink satellite's positions also change over time, and this is another important factor. We still have to consider that the bad news is Russia can definitely shoot down a satellite. It did so just last November when it fired a missile at one of its own satellites from the ground, shattering it into 1,500 pieces, according to NASA. But if we're being hopeful, we've got good news too. The ground reality is that a single strike attack like this would have little effect on a network as dispersed as Starlink, and even Russia has not yet claimed it will fire thousands of missiles to take out the entire constellation. Though Musk and Starlink were never officially mentioned by Russia, they are certainly the most obvious targets. According to Musk, cyber attacks have already been made against his satellites. This month, there have also been rumors that Peresvet laser beams fired from Belgorod, Russia, have tried to disable Starlink. Damn Elon, Putin's got his eye on you. Musk might suffer a great deal if Russia makes good on its threats and actually shoots down some of his birds. Only roughly 50 Starlink satellites can be deployed every Falcon 9 launch, which costs $67 million commercially from Musk's SpaceX. More than 3,000 Starlink satellites have been launched by SpaceX so far, but their plans to launch more are seriously being hindered by Russia. Let's now look at Musk's encounters with the media, in which he made the assertion that it would be challenging to destroy the satellites. According to Musk, attempting to eliminate Starlink will be difficult because there are 2,000 satellites in orbit. He continued by saying something along the lines of, "It requires a substantial number of anti-satellite missiles." We sincerely hope we don't need to put this theory to the test, because Musk doesn't seem to be messing around. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. What do you think about this whole conflict between Musk and Russia? Do you think the world should be taking Russia's warning seriously? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching, see you next time.